Welcome everyone to another episode of Moses People Speak, but really a special episode indeed. I'm so happy to have my dear friend Nakia backstage, and today we have a wonderful program, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. The first thing I'm going to mention is please like and share this program. We want many people to be on board, tuning in, enjoying this presentation, and really getting to understand the Kaya and her journey from 2016 to now. So before we get started, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I want you to like and share. Please like and share, and bring some people on board. Um, so with that said, let's bring on the person, or I should say, the lady of the evening. I am that girl, Chucks and Pearls. So with that said, Nakia, thank you for joining me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. So what we gonna do here? We gonna set the scene real quick. I love to set the scene if we possibly can. Let's bring up. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it goes. We are now in I'm that girl. So let's put you on the spotlight too. Get me out there. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
So this today, what we're doing today is again we are sort of celebrating that the video that you posted one, giving a chance people to have a more in-depth understanding of what that video was about, what the road you travel, getting to that point. Um, and most importantly, really talking about the people around you during that time too. So, Lakaya, if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little bit about who you are, and sort of where did the phrase "chucks and pearls" take on the world come from?
Woo-wee. Okay, so I was so elated to see how when everybody started saying Kamala, she wore chucks and the pearls, and how it brought women together. And it was just not for, and of course, she's an AKA, and shout out to the distinguished women of Alpha Kappa Alpha as well, just as Delta Sigma Theta, all the sororities. But I watched how it brought all these women together on one accord. So it was so powerful for me because I had to look at it from a woman's perspective. Like, okay, I couldn't relate to pearls, but thank you, Lord, I got them today. I can relate to pearls because we kind of grew up in an era where my mother could afford those type of things. But she did buy me Chucks. I had some Chuck Taylors. And that's when I realized, even though we may be from different walks of life, we all walk the same journeys. We just have different paths. So Chucks and pearls take on the world. That's my.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so again, I want to dive right into this. So, of course, we have some videos tonight. You haven't seen the video, so some of these videos, actually, all of them will be new to you. But before we get going, I want people to take a short look at the video that you posted. Now, I took a small section of it, and I think the section that I decided to take from that video was the section that most people are aware of when they talk about the video that the video went viral. And I looked at it this morning, and I saw that since you posted that video, over 8.4 million people reviewed it. So that is truly the definition of viral. So before we get going, let's take a look at that short video.
And God, please forgive me, and you can delete me if you're getting mad at me. If you are white and you working in a black community and you are racist, you need to be ashamed of yourself. If you are that officer that's prejudiced, take the uniform off and put the KKK hoodie on. So why don't we just keep it real? If you're that officer that know good and well you got a God complex, you're afraid of people that don't look like you have no business in that uniform. Take it off.
So that was the shortest. Now, again, that video was 7 minutes long. I've watched it a couple times myself. I did take segments out of that video. I think I made about 4 different segments from that video, and we're going to dive into that tonight. But that particular video was very emotional, and you really connected, particularly to the shooting of Alton Sterling. Please tell me why did that touch you so much, Nakia?
You know what? Honestly, I think we all were aware of course, the unjust killings of African American males at the hands of police. And when I say unjust, I mean they did not go by the way we're trained to do. That's how I felt. So to see my son, and again, I'm a police officer, so my children had never had any issues with police. I've never had an issue with police. So that's what I really wanted the audience to understand. Sometimes what the purpose that God has for you may not even directly affect you like in a way that it's affecting others, but it pulled on me because every time I would see a young Black African-American or Black male be killed, or however you want to pronounce it, some don't like Black, it would impact me like it was my son. So when my son came in after watching the video, he woke me up out of my sleep. And I tell everybody this all the time. People laugh. My children don't wake me up out of my sleep unless something's on fire. I knew then that it really bothered him. And he woke me up. He's like, Mommy, did you see the shooting? I'm like, what shooting? The police shooting. I'm thinking immediately that one of our officers got into a shooting in our city. He showed the video. And when I tell y'all, something in me, it shook the very fiber in me. It was like, it almost made me feel like I couldn't breathe. I'm being honest. It was like, and I kept watching it over and over again. And because you're trained as law enforcement officers that you're an officer 24/7. So of course, when I first looked at the video, I'm looking at it from an officer's point of view. What did he do wrong? Did he reach for something? That's how I couldn't find a just reason for those officers to have shot him, even from looking from a police officer's point of view. But then God said, let me take you a little bit deeper. Now I'm going to take it to a mother's point of view. And when I tell you, when I looked at that video, I could see my son's face on Alton Sterling's body, and it shook me. It broke me, and I started to feel what other mothers were feeling. And I got to see, I literally got to see why many people looked at the police as, you're against us, you're not for us. And immediately I said, let me go on my private Facebook page, because I need to talk to my friends, in which we've had discussions about police shootings before, and I've been on the defense. Police, I feel like it's right, I'm gonna be for police. If I feel this is wrong, it's not. And I went on there. I had no idea, Terry, no idea that video was gonna go viral.
Wow. And it definitely did. And you know, when I remember the first time I saw the video, I think that I will say I had to reach out to this lady. I need to know more, because you know, speaking with police officers across the country, we do get some that speak out, but very few actually put themselves in a position to be vulnerable like that and really speak power to truth, you know. So that was really powerful. So let me ask you this question, because again, I know there was some backlash from posting the video, but the decision to actually post the video, why did you actually decided to go onto your Facebook and post that video?
You know what? The people that I consider my friends on Facebook are my friends, and I was hurting. I'm being honest. I was hurting. And the reason why that video went viral and touched so many people, because what comes from the heart, it relates to the heart. So if it's coming from my heart, it's going to relate to your heart. I felt like I'm in pain. I just need to talk about this. Like I said, I'm thinking my friends are going to chime in, and I did not have any idea until my son woke me up at 3:00 in the morning and said, Mommy, you went viral. I jumped up and said, they put a virus on I'm thinking, I wasn't good with the lingo of viral. So he's like, Mom, you on Hip Hop Nation and all these celebrities is tweeting you. Immediately, Terry, I'm being honest, I never ever understood what it meant to cross against the blue wall of silence. Soon as he told me that, my heart, I started having anxiety attacks. I was like, oh my God, what's about, oh my God, because I had no idea what door I'd opened up. I had no idea.
Talking about friends, I want to talk about one of your friends who I got to know a little bit speaking with you, and that's Jocelyn. I know Jocelyn Hurt has been one of your biggest supports. So when I say Jocelyn Hurt, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
That's my roller. That's my, that girl has carried me when I couldn't walk, never judged me. She saw me when I was at the top of my game, and she saw me with my face to the ground, my face to the sky. Never changed. That girl has wiped tears from my eyes before they hit the ground. That girl has fed my family. When I couldn't get out the bed, she has bathed me. That is my best friend, and I rocks with her 100%, and I love her with everything in me.
Mm. Well, she did submit a video, and it wasn't 2 minutes long, by the way. So I want to give you that piece right there. And I think the reason why, as she explained to me, was it's hard to say what you gotta say in that 2 minutes. So what I had to my best edit that video to fit in this platform. So let's take a little break and check out this video from Jocelyn Hurd. So Jocelyn, let's see, where do you go? There we go.
So a lot of people ask me to give a little history on the journey that Nakia and I have gone on together as her best friend. What was the experience like to go through this with her? Just to give you a little back history, she and I both went to the same high school. She graduated a year ahead of me. We always laugh because Kai doesn't really remember me from high school, but I remember her. Kai's always been a fighter, is one of the things that I remember. But we had a lot of the same mutual friends, so we kind of crossed paths, but didn't realize it. So fast forward to later on in adulthood, we became fast friends, and we've been joined at the hip ever since. A little bit about the journey with her. When that video went viral in 2016, it changed a lot of things, a lot of ways that for me, the way that I viewed police officers, my impression of police officers, and my impression of someone that I know as a police officer. And so when she did the 7-minute video, initially I was just like, yeah, she said it, that was it, blah, blah, blah. And then the backlash came. So I was always in full support of her. I was like, you hit the nail on every head in that video. And I was always in support of her, but I didn't realize how much support of her I was now going to have to be. That video went viral and she got tons of backlash. She was getting such love from the community, such love from people on the outside, but the people in blue that were supposed to have her back were the ones that gave her some of the worst backlash. Then she had the backlash from her own police department, and watching her go through that, watching her go through her arbitration, watching them try to demean her and berate her character, that was something that is indescribable. If you have a friend or a family member and you know something about them, and for someone to lie and to tell their version of a story and can't do anything, that person can't defend themselves and you can't defend them, it's a very indescribable feeling. I don't even think I can begin to help you to understand or relate to it. But I had a very sinking kind of feeling that it was like nothing that I could do would make it better. But the one thing that I made sure that I did was to stand by her. That's kind of how I also became her personal assistant. She was getting thousands and thousands of emails from Africa, from Germany, from Georgia, from, every state pretty much sent something, and multiple media outlets, BET, CNN, ABC, all of the local news channels, even some in news channels in the UK reached out, and she did some interviews there. And initially it was just kind of like, wow, these people get it. Wow, look at all this love. And then on the flip side, people would take that 7-minute video and they would try to make her into something that she was not. And so to have to go through that and watch her go through that was extremely stressful and overwhelming time. So that's initially how I became her personal assistant, trying to help her get through all those emails and get through that media. And then it just kind of became my job. And I don't really consider it a job. I quite enjoy it, actually. And so I just, am able to be able to support her. And then this way, I'm able to kind of help her through that. And so that just became who I am as it pertains to her and this whole, Nakia Jones hysteria that we were going through. And then she had to go, like I said, through the arbitration. I had to stand beside her during that. They would said some very hateful things and tried to berate her character. I had to help her through that and to watch her grow through these things, because they tried to break her and try to make her feel less than, and it never worked. She stood strong every single time, and people think because she cries that is a weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. I don't know if you realize, but that is not a sign of weakness. It's probably best that she cries, let me just say. Those were some very stressful times. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but that was a very stressful time. But then we had some great times. When the book came out, The Truth Divided, she received so much support in regarding that book. And now the book, you can't even get it because it's not being published anymore. But those who have it are selling it on eBay and other places for way more than what originally was going for. I think like $300 and some or something. And just to watch that happen, it's like I was there to see when it was, so much less. It was only $25, and now the book is out of stock and people are paying big money to have it. By the way, if you have not read that book, I don't know what to tell you. We'll have to see if we can get it back in print. It's an awesome book, and it gives you a little closer look into what she was feeling during that time when she was, did that viral video. So then we fast forward. She did some plays, and that was amazing. And then here comes the department again, trying to bring her down, trying to take her living away from her. I don't know if you all remember or know, but she was in a very bad car accident, and this caused her to have a head injury. That head injury, she had to end up going out on workers' comp. And so while she's on workers' comp, this was the time period that her department decided to fire her. So to watch her go through this car accident, which I don't know if you've ever watched somebody who's had a head injury, and Nakia is a very strong person. She used to being strong-willed, being able to do things on her own. And that car accident kind of changed her because it's a neurological injury. And so she wasn't remembering things. She was stuttering. And being the person standing next to her and watching her and helping her get through this, that can be very taxing. Going through this time period, I thought I was going to lose my friend several times because of the pressures of not only what she was already going through physically, but then the things that the department was trying to also do to her. These things happening at the same time. She's come through all of that. She was not broken. You did not win. And so she has survived. I'm watching her be reborn right in front of my face. And it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see as we now reach the 5-year mark of that viral video. And I could not be more happy for her. I could not be more proud of her than I was when she made the video in 2016. I was super proud of her then, and I was like, that's my friend. She said that. And people are like, that's your friend? Yes, that's my friend. But now to watch her, even when she does her public speaking and to go on some of the book signings and to watch how people receive her and they listen to her, it is amazing. It's like she is a celebrity. I tell her all the time, you are a celebrity. You just don't know it. You just don't want to accept it, rather. And so she's, no, I'm just Kai. You're just Kai with a celebrity behind your name. And so many people are drawn to her because she's so genuine. She's so genuine. She's so loving. She gives so much of herself. And that's another reason why I have to be there, because I got to watch out for the wolves and the sharks, because they are there. They try to take her kindness for weakness. Not on my watch. Not while I'm around. That won't happen. So So I just can't be more proud of her to watch where we've come from 2016. Now we're in 2021, and she has been reborn. And she is in such a great space. I can't wait to see the next 5 years of where this next 5 years is taking her, and the journey that she's not complete, just beginning. She's finally in a place where, things are looking up, and I'm just so happy to be by her side. So just want to say congratulations on making it through these 5 years and being reborn and on to the next phase of life. And I'm so proud of you, and I love you.
Wow. Y'all got me.
If that would get you, I gotta tell you the other ones are going to make it break down in the car, because some of the other ones that were submitted made me break down, and so I yeah. I was interested. I was I always take notes even after watch the video myself. There are some things that she did highlight, Jocelyn, that I think most people don't really know about. The arbitration is one of them. Like that whole ordeal. Can you sort of tell us a little bit about what that was like? What happened during that?
That was a rough time in my life. For me, I had worked with people with mental health issues. I've had family members, but after having that car accident and the doctor telling me you have a brain injury, it was so hard for me, like Jocelyn said, because I was so independent and I was stand up for myself. I could barely talk. My mind was all over the place. I was so emotional. And when I tell you, to walk into that arbitration, I was on crutches. I was having a lupus flare up. My hair was falling out all around the sides of my head. I could barely walk. When I tell you, they demeaned me. They demeaned my character. They even tried to demean my best friend when she came to speak on my behalf. They tried to tear my character all the way down. I mean, it was so painful. And not to be able to defend myself, because mentally I was not up for the job. I should have probably never been in arbitration, because I could barely even talk. I would come out of there just shaking. She would tell you that I was just shaking. I could barely move. My family would come to support my mom, and my ex-husband's father would come every day and sit outside because they wouldn't let them inside arbitration. So I would be in there by myself with the people that were against me. So my family sat on the outside of the door, and they would tell you every time I would come out of there, I would be so sick and broken. It was a very, very rough time for me. Very rough. It was rough.
Wow. When I first spoke with you, Nakia, I remember going over that story. You telling me sort of how you were treated after the car accident that Jocelyn mentioned, and sort of how that sort of played into their your department's way of sort of retaliating against you. So that's one of the other things too that I want to put out there. Jocelyn didn't mention this too, is that your book, The Truth Divided, you really can't buy it anymore. I was fortunate. I did buy it electronically before it sort of made its due. Is there a second edition of that book coming out anytime soon?
Yes, we are working on the second edition. Thank you, Lord. I'm
Yes.
sorry. You gotta give me a minute. Woo. Y'all don't understand how hard it was to birth that book. I don't know if Jocelyn ever told you, or we told you the story, Terry. I lost the entire book. We couldn't find it, and I just cried, or like 3 or 4 chapters, and I was crying because we were supposed to send it to the publisher, and I'm in tears. Jocelyn came over. She was like, I guess it's going to be an all-nighter. We stayed up all night long, delirious, writing this, trying to get everything, because we had to get it to the editor, I think that's what, and she was like, you going to write this book? And we got it written, and I was selling the book for $20. I just wanted people to see what it was like to hear somebody tell both sides of the story. It's not that often that you can have somebody stand in both shoes.
Yeah.
So it was important, but now to see the book on sale in some place for $486.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God, and I feel like God is saying, even when you don't see the greatness in yourself, other people see it. And all you got to do is be patient, because God said, listen, weeping may endure for a night, but joy. And I'm just watching the joy, the fruits of my labor. And I'm being honest with you, Terry, just real quick. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, if you knew then what you know now and all the things that you and your family and your best friends have been through after that video went viral, would you have made that video? My honest answer would have been no, because it affected my family, my children. I had to uproot my family. I didn't know that it was going to get that bad where my family was going to be attacked. But if you ask me today, I would say absolutely I would do it all over again, because God had equipped me for the battle before I got in it.
You're speaking it today. You know, I want to take this chance to actually dive into the next segment of this conversation. But before I do, can we post, if you want to book Nakia Jones for speaking, come into your town or your neighborhood, your department, whatever it may be, please go to her page and book her. If you post that link in the chat, that would be great. Talking about family, Nakia, this is the part that really got to me, probably the most in preparing for this conversation. And this is, as my buddy Sean would say, time for the Kleenex, because I was, when I first spoke to you, you reminded me of another sister, Carrie Horn, and working with Carrie, and congratulations, Carrie, by the way, for winning the IDB Wells Spirit Award out of there, and I posted that picture.
Yes, congratulations. Yes, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Yes, she does. Mm-hmm. But when you talked to me, you mentioned, and again, how old was your son when he came to you that day to show you that video?
16.
16. Yeah, I have a 17-year-old now, so that really, when I first talked to you, my son was 16, and that really got to me, you know. And how old was your daughter? Because your daughter also, Catherine, she was also.
Catherine may have been 6, 7, and that's crazy. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now, both of them, they both submitted videos, and they both got to me. I got to tell you this. So if you're ready for that, I'm going to play your son's first, and this is the son that came to you with the video, and your son did follow directions, by the way. So I must speak to him, because you know I love the fact that he was able to tell his story.
Right.
Hello.
Okay, that's Jeremiah. Okay, that's my
Jeremiah, the youngest son.
son.
Okay. So let's take a look at what Jeremiah had to say, and let's like Sean. All right, we go watch Jeremiah.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah Sullivan. My mom is Nakia Jones. I'm pretty sure y'all know her, the officer that went viral a couple years ago. When that situation happened, my mom was depressed. She didn't know what to do. Like, losing her job, something that she worked for all her life, to something like that, it put her in a dark place. Like, she didn't want to eat. She was stressed out. She was just going through a lot. I feel like she didn't think her own people would do her like that, because we all supposed to be together, and she was standing up for us. And then for her to lose her job to her own people to treat her like that, it put her like in a dark place, because she felt like what she was doing is right, which it was. After the video, she's way stronger than what she was before. Like, she always been strong, but when that happened, it boosted her up. Like, now she used that as motivation. Like, now she working hard every single day. With that video happening, pushed her even more to be even more successful, to better her family, to have a better life for her family. After that situation happened, people thought she was just gonna be down, but she got up, got her family moved to Atlanta. Like, that's not something everybody would do, and I feel like I'm proud of her for that, because not every woman, not everybody would do that. Like they'll be lazy, be on their butt after that type of situation happened. But when that happened to my mom, she stepped up and went even harder, grinded even harder, and now she in Atlanta. He's doing even better what she was when the situation happened. So I'm real proud of my mom. She a hard worker, and that's just the beginning. Like when it happened, it hurt her, but now, as y'all can see, she about to be higher than the people that did that to her is. So I'm very proud of my mom. I love you.
Yeah.
Y'all,
And I gotta say, first of all, I'm proud of that young man. By all, and as a parent, you know, so a couple of years back, Nakia, I interviewed the daughter of two police captains, and one thing that came out of that conversation is no matter how parents try to shelter their kids from what's happening, kids know. They always know. They're like the sixth sense. They always know. So my question for you, Nakia, is really is as a mother, what did you notice about your kids during this time?
as a mother, you try to protect your children. You know that. As a dad, you try to protect and shield your children. And I tried to do that, but because me and my children are so close, this ain't no play. Everybody can tell I don't play about my children. We like this. We have conversations. We're very close. So I understand why my children could see what I was going through, even though I tried to mask it and pretend like I was okay. They knew it. But I'm so grateful that my son did not only just see me down, he saw me get up. That's important for a black man today, to get up. Get up, babe. No matter how, get up. And it was important for me to show my daughters, get up. It don't matter. It don't dig. You dig until you can get up. And I'm just grateful to hear him say he's proud of his mother. That's an honor for your son to tell you he's proud. I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful that my experience didn't break my children.
Yeah.
It hurt them, but it didn't break them.
It's I gotta say, and this is the truth. When I look at your son and your daughter's video, your daughter got to me the most. FYI, I will tell you that up front. Your daughter, like your friend Jocelyn, submitted a very long video that had to chop down to a smaller size, but I don't think I missed any points that she was trying to make. Before we show the video of your daughter and transition out of the family role here, I want to let people know there is the T-shirt. Now you're wearing a shirt, by the way, that we just posted. So we do have shirts for ladies and for men. If you want to order your Nakia shirts today, if you're watching, we're going to give you free shipping. So here's a code for free shipping. I'll put it right there. It is Chuck's Pearls. That's the code that expires next week. If we could post the links to the t-shirts in the chat so folks can purchase their own I'm That Girl t-shirts. Or if you are a guy, Real Men Stand With That Girl. So those two t-shirts are now for sale. If you want your free shipping, the code is Chuck's Pearls. All right. Like I was saying, family didn't got to me, Nakia. And your daughter, first of all, she's adorable. Let's put that how old is she now? You said she was 7. How old is she now? 11, 12?
She's 11 now, and 11. She's brilliant. She's going to the 6th grade, reading on a 10th grade level.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's I have a baby girl. She's 13 years old, and I saw the picture of this of your daughter that you posted on your social media. And she was so adorable. And then when I got her video and I watched her video, I was like, oh my god! I think I text Sean like she's so adorable. But I will tell you, it definitely got to me. And if anyone watching this video, I'll tell you what: if you talk about kids understanding what's going on around you, this baby girl right here is definitely proof of that. So, without ado, let's go ahead and show Catherine Jones' video.
Hi, my name is Captain Jones, and I am the daughter of famous police officer Nakia Jones. And I'm just coming to share with you guys, like, really what I felt when the video went viral in July of 2016. How it felt to watch her go through, like, struggles like that versus now, and how I feel now about everything. Let's just head on back to July of 2016. I remember I was up in my bedroom, chilling, doing gymnastics or something, and I remember going downstairs because I heard my mom yelling. And of course, if you hear your mom yelling, you're gonna go downstairs or wherever at in your house to see what's going on. So I went downstairs and I just saw her. I was like, oh, she's just making a video. If you were looking at the video, if you rewatch the video, through like the middle of the video on the right, you will see me in the reflection of the fireplace. So I just came there and I just laid on her, shoulder or whatever. And I was just hearing her yelling, and like I really didn't, think much of it because I didn't really know like what was going on. So I really just didn't think anything of it for real until I heard that she went viral. And of course I didn't know what viral meant either. After I saw her on the news and everything, it really, like, I don't know how to say it. It just really, like, I was like, it started hitting me then. It really hit me, and I was like, I was like, okay, all right. So I was like, oh, famous people get on the news, so maybe my mom's famous or something, and I just don't know it. And I just started thinking about it really hard. It really started to hit me when she started to get the death threats, and the mayor would literally ride around my house 24/7. And it really just scared me because if I ever lost my mom, I don't know what I would do. And I'm not even trying to speak that into existence right now, so we're just not going to think about that. But at the same time, when the mayor would ride around my house, I would just be thinking to myself, what are you trying to find? Like, we're just a family trying to be a family right now. When we moved here to Georgia, that's when stuff, started to go downhill a lot. I remember when the power went out, and I was like, oh, it's just a power outage, until I realized that everybody else's power didn't go out. So I was like, what's going on? Until I realized, our lights got cut off. When they turned back on, they handled it and everything like that, and they cut back on, and I was just like, that was weird. And then I remember when my mom made a Facebook video talking about Warrensville, and how she was like, my family is gonna end up on the streets. Basically, we're gonna end up homeless. And just thinking about that there could be a absolute possibility that you could be homeless, it really scared me. And just knowing that all of my friends, they don't have to go through that. Like, they live in a big house, and they have their own rooms and everything like that. And it really just, it hurt me a lot. It just shook me. And knowing that this all happened from a basic viral video that she got fired, and that Warrensville was just after her doing all this and all that, and it really affected me. because seeing my mom have to go through all those struggles like that alone, it just it wasn't really like, it didn't really sit well with me like that. I really tried my best to help and do all of this and do all of that. I was upset that I had to see my mom go through that like that. But now seeing her move into a whole new apartment by herself, raising 3 amazing kids, of course, and seeing that she can do all these things for me and my siblings. Not just that, it's just to see my mom start living again like that, and to see her come out of that whole depressed phase and stuff like that, it really made me, really happy. So that is how I felt when my mom went viral from then and now. And now I am really proud of my mom achieve and do all of that. It really, I'm really proud of her. And she is an amazing role model. So that is how I felt from then now. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, day, evening, whatever. Peace.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
my mini me. She's so, that's an amazing young lady. When I tell you, she really tried to carry me, and I had to turn around and tell her, no, you not equipped for this, baby. I got it. But she was there. I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute. And this is the first show I've talked about this on, and that's because I am all right. Unfortunately, I'm going through a divorce, so I lost a lot, but it started way back. It didn't just start here. So people don't understand that I was going through the police department stuff and trying to keep my family together and trying to make sure my son, because my oldest son graduated from TSU in December. Thank you, Lord. So he's no matter, they didn't break my children. My son that you saw, Jeremiah, the Florida Gators are looking at him basketball, and he's a junior in high school. Thank you, Lord. So I'm grateful. I will say that me and my ex-husband are co-parenting, and it's going well, but it was a lot of loss. And I told you before, it felt like I was being buried. I felt like I was a seed and people were throwing dirt on me. And no matter how hard I tried to climb out, I couldn't. But I didn't have faith for myself, but I had faith for the people. So I continued to use my voice, and I continued to use my voice. I was doing speaking engagements stuff. I wasn't getting paid for that stuff. It's just, I felt it's important. Money's not everything. At that time, I'm like, I just want to speak, but people didn't know my lights got cut off. Never in my life have I ever had my lights being cut off. And I was a single mother many, many years. But to have my children have to go through that because Warrensville we gonna stop her living maintenance, even though we know she's injured. We know she has a brain injuries. Doctors proof is several doctors. It didn't care. It was like it was a target on me. And so it was really hurtful to watch my children have to go through that. But like she told you, within 10 minutes, the light was back on. Look, mama gonna make it do what it do. I ain't trying to be funny now, but I'm grateful that my children got to see that because they never seen me there. I'm grateful they got to see me fall so they could see how to get back up. You understand? So all this time when I'm thinking I'm being buried, what God showed me was I was allowing your enemies to kick dirt on you. But your eyes was closed. You wasn't woke to what was going on with you, because once I opened my eyes, I realized all they were doing was elevating me. And I was elevating. As long as I stayed humble, they were elevating me, and I'm grateful. I'm so, so grateful. So grateful.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing for me, watching both of your kids sort of have their own testimony and knowing what as a parent, what you've done and what you tried to do to try to shelter them from that information. And sometimes, but with that said, you did mention something that I think I do want to go back to your actual original video. you talk a lot about being the change. When you spoke for the symposium, you mentioned the being a change you want to see.
That's right.
There's a piece on your video, and again, if you haven't watched the whole video, it is still on Kaya's Facebook. 7 minutes long. You watch the whole thing. Um, it still speaks words. It still speaks power today. But there's a clip that I sort of want to show you and get your comment on. So, be the change.
First of all, I became an officer in 1996. I grew up in the hood, so I ain't grew up in the suburbs. I grew up on 93rd and Kansas. We moved to East Cleveland, so I know what it is. So the reason why I became a police officer was to make a difference in people's lives. I knew what it was like to have a parent on drugs. I knew what it was like to watch people be picked on and bullied on and all kinds of things. And I said, I want to make a difference. I want to be that change. So I became that change. So in 96, I took an oath in East Cleveland, sitting in front of Chief Guy, and said I will serve and protect my community by all costs. Even if it meant I wouldn't go home to my 1-year-old daughter. And that's what I did. And I did it with integrity and respect.
That was a part of the video that I mean, personally for me, I that was really important to highlight. And the reason being is to understand what you always call both sides. And I think that's important to highlight. From your point of view, you became a police officer because you wanted to make a change in your community. You wanted to do the positive thing. And as part of this whole ordeal, I know you talked about sort of letting that go, right? After a while. But before we talk about letting it go, can you sort of talk about what was it like to be that change at that moment? Because there's a couple of things that I want to highlight during that whole process. And again, the word change also brings up another memory of mine. So I'm definitely going to point out too. But for now, tell me about this, Nakia. What was it like to be that change in your community?
It's an amazing and powerful feeling. What I realized being a law enforcement officer and growing up in the hood and dealing with some of the same issues that a lot of youths deal with when we're not able to have the glamorous lives. But what people don't understand is, and I told my best friend this, when I grew up on 103rd and Union, which is the hood considered to be, that was the best times of my life because we learned how to be family. We learned how to be communities. I could go next door and say, can I have a cup of sugar? And you didn't have people saying, look at her. She can't even afford. It was not like that. If you saw a child in need, the community would just help. You live on the street. This was a community. So I learned that. But in that, a lot of us went through a lot of pain. I went through physical abuse with my mom. I went through emotional abuse. I watched my mom go through drugs. So I knew that a lot of these children that were acting up, it was a story inside of them. If you can get to the root, you can make a change and you can make them see you can be that change. So when I would go and speak, I wasn't that prissy speaker. I was the speaker to say, let me tell y'all something. Everything y'all doing, I did it. What's up? And they could relate. And they were saying, and I said, but at a point in my life, I said, I want to change. I don't want to stay where I'm at. I don't want to be the statistic. I don't want to be your mama was on drugs. You're going to know I will not be. I didn't want to be your mama didn't graduate from high school. Oh, I'm going to graduate. Your mother, I'm going to be the change I want to see. And I'm so grateful because my children, where I dropped the torch, I went to Wilberforce University, but I didn't graduate. But my son picked up the torch and said, Mommy, I got you, woman. I'm running with it. And he's running, right? He's running because December he graduated. But guess what? So when he went to reach back and say, Ma, I said, let me hold it, son. Now you can cover me. I grab it. And I graduate in 2023 with my degree in psychology. So you see where I'm going. Be that change you want to see. You can't speak it. You can't walk it.
Right. And I'll tell you right now, Nakia, there is one picture, and I never asked you this question, so now I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit. There is one picture talking about change, and I watched the video because Jocelyn sent me the video. She was like, hey, this would be a good video show. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to do the whole production thing. But there's one picture that was taken that always got to me because we talk about the word change a lot, and this is another guy that uses that word a lot, change. This picture right here. I don't know what was said before that. I know what the content of the conversation was. What was that day like?
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's almost like you know how you be like, I can't act like I'm going, you know, I'm like, he the president. That's how I wanted to act, but I had to be poised. Now it's funny because what he said to me he was telling my ex-husband, he said, your wife is a phenomenal woman. He said she's powerful, just like Michelle. Oh, that's what I was like. And coming from him, I'm like, and listen, and you said like Michelle. I was so honored. I was speechless, and to be honest, his demeanor, the way he is on TV, is the same way he is when you meet. He's so mild mannered, and he was so poised, and even when they were trying to incite him, he's so educated. I was sitting there like, I was so proud to say I was a Black woman for sure. I was sitting there like, yes, oh my God, it was amazing.
Now the conversation, that was a town hall on race, and I think race and policing, is that correct? Where you were able to also meet. So, can you tell me about that meeting? And I'm sorry, because I know that even in that video was very emotional, but you got the chance to meet a family member of Alton Sterling. What was that? What was that like?
Oh, I think honestly, it was an honor to meet President Barack Obama. He's still my president, but anyway, but to meet the Sterling family and to meet Cameron, and Cameron is Alton Sterling's oldest son, the one that was on the video crying, and to meet his mother, and for them to embrace me, knowing that I still wore the uniform, because that's some love. Because sometimes you look at everybody and bundle them together, but for her to embrace me, he held me and he said, Miss Jones, I don't hate all police officers. He said, thank you. Thank you, Miss Jones. Thank you for being the voice that my father don't have. It broke me down. And I wanted to say, I love that family. I'm still in touch with that family. And thank God, money doesn't change everything. But finally, they got a lawsuit settled for $4.3 million so that family can be well taken care of. And something that Cameron's mom called me. She said, Nakia, I feel like me and the other his other children's mothers feels like if your voice had not been so loud, we may not even got that. And I want to thank you. So when I tell y'all it's a rebirth, and this just happened 3 weeks ago. So I'm so grateful. God, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful.
I would love to get y'all together one day, because I think that would be a powerful thing. I remember when I was looking at the video, and I think Sean made this point too, is if you didn't know who Alton Sterling was after watching your video, you would say, okay, I gotta look it up, right? Yeah. So you're using your voice to also bring light to another situation that is so important. So talking about Sean, he without a doubt is someone who's been in a. First of all, he's a friend of Strategy for Justice. He's someone who's always in the background. If people don't know this, usually posting things on our behalf. But he also is someone that I know, coming from speaking with law enforcement across the country, he is someone that really understands the importance of consciousness in policing. Yeah. And so when I said, I'm going to say the same thing with Jocelyn. When I say Sean, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, Nakia?
You gave me hope. You made me see what a real man look like, because you didn't know what I was going through with my marriage, but you gave me hope to show that a man can have feelings, he can have compassion, but he can stand strong. You were my brother. You were my friend. Like, I really look at Sean like my friend. Like, I would be hurt if I just feel like I could trust him. There's things that I've told Sean and never heard it come back. I love Sean. When I was in need, when me and my family were almost outdoors, this man came through for me and put out a 911 call to all these Black law enforcement officers. And first of all, I want to tell them thank you. And the women that stood beside me, thank you. Thank you. Because I don't know what I would have did to be homeless. When I tell you, I always wanted so many officers to support me, and I didn't see it like that when the video went viral, because I was hurting so much and I wasn't reading nothing. But when I tell you I felt that love 6 months ago, they came together and they put a roof over me and my family's head. And I will always be grateful to Sean. I love you with everything. I mean, there's nothing you couldn't ask me for that I wouldn't do for you if I can do it.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now, the very first conversation I had with Sean, the very first, and it was funny how it worked out. I think Carriol was speaking in Chicago, and as you know, I work with Carriol in her speaking arrangements as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Carriol was speaking in Chicago, and Carriol's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give somebody your phone number." I'm like, "Okay," because she gives my phone number out all the time.
Right.
and she gave my phone number to Sean, and go, because I always say to Carriol, anytime you come across any law enforcement, please share my number and whatever. So I'm addicted to iced coffee. Everyone knows this. I was driving to get some iced coffee, and I'm like, let me call this brother while I'm driving to get some iced coffee. I kid you not, I was in my driveway. I couldn't start my car because I could tell right then, that first conversation, he was the real deal. And the purpose of that phone call, with Nakia, was you have to connect with Nakia. That was the whole purpose of the phone call. He was calling me to say, you have to connect with Nakia. You're the speaking platform. She's doing all this speaking. She needs someone to put her out there. You have to connect to Nakia. That was the reason of the phone call. But I was in my driveway for about half an hour. I kid you not. I can't make this up. Talking to this brother that I've never met before, and from that point on, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to be my dude for life. So, talking about Sean Kennedy, without a doubt, he definitely submitted a video too. So let's check out what Sean Kennedy had to say.
Good evening. I'm Sean Kennedy, and I first heard of Nakia Jones back in June of 2020. One of her weekly live discussions popped up in my newsfeed on my Facebook page, so I watched it. And I was quite impressed with the candor of their discussion and also with her passion. But she would always reference a 2016 video that went viral on Facebook, and I hadn't a clue of what she was referring to. And a couple of weeks later, once I actually ran across the video and I listened to it, then I understood this sister much better, and I said, this is one sister I need to connect with. So I reached out to her, and I have no idea, among the 100+ direct messages, emails, text messages she gets per day, she took mine. And that connection was instantaneously. So we had a chance to have multiple conversations, and I feel that Nakia felt that she had someone who was going to actually have her back as far as a police organization and as far as a black man. So my police organization is National Association of Black Law Enforcement Officers, which is also commonly called NABLEO. And I made it very clear to her that me personally and my organization was going to be there for her. So as time would pass, I actually had a chance to watch many of the things that she was still going through based on what occurred directly as retaliation from that 2016 video. But one thing that made things better was 4 years later, which is now 2020, she had a Black Police Association that had her back 100%. So even at times when she felt that this was going to be rough, that this was too much, she knew that she can pick up a phone call and she can get whatever assistance or support that she needed. So I had an opportunity to actually watch her feel like someone actually cared, someone actually wanted to be there for her publicly and was going to walk the walk with her as far as we needed to go. And so when I think about Nakia Jones today, 5 years after the incident in 2016 when her video went viral, I see the growth that this sister has made. Nakia has always given so much of herself to others. That's just who she is. She is a guardian of her community. But what's most important to understand is sometimes we neglect ourselves in trying to help other people. So I'm so glad to see where she's at today, where she's starting to pull back a little of herself and be selfish and give to herself first. So I'm just very proud of Nakia. I've watched her accomplishments, and I'm glad to have met her and to say that, hey, you are my sister forever, and I'm going to always be there to support you, and to know that she feels that love and support, and know it's not just talk, but it's actually action. So I'm very proud of her, and I'm going to be with her for the long run. Take care, Nakia.
So yeah.
Wow, Nablio is I wish I had known about Nablio when I was in law enforcement. I really do. And they have been the Guardians and Nablio. I'm talking about. They have really been my rock, and I'm grateful. And anything I can do for you, Nablio Guard, you call on me, y'all know I'm there.
Yes, not. I gotta say, Nablio is definitely the real deal, and we being, of course, Strategies for Justice and Nablio, we have been working more and more together over the past year, and it's definitely been a pleasure. And also getting to work, of course, with Sean has been amazing too. So, now before I dive into the next part of this, Nakia, one of the things that I also want to put out too is that video you were talking really about both sides, and really when you say both sides, you were giving two different perspectives, right? You were saying the perspective of being someone in law enforcement who has to deal with the ugliness that comes with law enforcement. That is the dealing with the rapes, the murder, all of that stuff. And then you have the other side of it where you're trying to advocate for your community. And so that video, again, I think was very powerful because you were addressing both of those. There is one piece of the video that I think most people do not talk about, and I do want to show that and then get your comments on it. Okay, so I call this part is be a mentor.
I also need for y'all to become role models for our juveniles, y'all. They're killing each other left and right. I'm telling you. And people that don't really want us to exist are sitting back laughing because they're saying, look at them destroy each other. Yeah, we'll have a police shooting here or there, but we're not going to talk about the millions of black men that are killing each other left and right. Put the guns down. The most powerful, fearful person in the world is an intelligent black man. Men, I need for y'all to stand up. Get these young men, mentor them, teach them. And then when you see that one of us are doing something wrong, and I'm not telling you, when you wrong, and when you dealing with the police, and we got to do our job, because we have to do our job. But when we do something that you know is wrong, you need to speak up. You need to go speak to a chief. You need to go sit down and talk to the mayor. I'm not talking about just because I don't want you to tell me what to do. I'm talking about something serious, y'all.
Yeah, and to me that was very powerful words, Nakia. And I the reason why I bring that up is because we just talked about Sean and having a black man stand up. I know you're supposed to put the videos on your Facebook page. By the way, guys, the video that we're showing tonight is not the only video Nakia posts on her Facebook page. If you follow Nakia, you notice that she does keep us updated on things. So, but in particular, Nakia, I'd like you to sort of talk about the importance that, as you see it, of black men and even black women. I'll say black men and black women being mentors for the black community. I want to get your thoughts on that.
I guess for me, if you are African American and you've been through something in your life, you are a mentor. I'm gonna drop that right there. So some of y'all is asking, I'm not a mentor. If you've come through something in your life that's transformed you for the better, you're a mentor. Remember, there's nothing new under the sun. There are children going through what you went through as an adult now. You have children that are raising families. I did it. I raised my siblings, and I was young. I wish I had somebody to speak to, somebody I could pour my heart out to, somebody that I could talk to. They need mentors, somebody that's going to pray for them and not pray on them. That's the problem. That's the reason why sex trafficking is big. You got the men out here going crazy, getting into gangs because they don't have pure mentorship. The difference is with the new generation, they know the real and they know the fake. So you got to come off your high horse. Some of us get so high up, and I don't want to talk about my past. No, you got to come down to their level. Let me tell you, I ain't always been who I am. Let me tell you who I am. Let me tell you, I know what it's like to not know whether your mother gonna come home at night and they telling strawberry killings on TV. I know what it's like. But I made a difference. I decided I don't want to be that. I want to be better, so you can. So what I do is I have compassion for them, but I also hold them accountable. Just like they say police officer accountability, the same thing in the community. When you mentor somebody, you also have to hold a certain accountability to them. Bring out the best in them, and then you push them towards them, and then you tell them you have a choice. You got a choice, and I'll be the blueprint. Baby, I was worse than you. I always tell, so we need those mentors, because I'm telling y'all right now, I don't know what's going on in Cleveland, Ohio, but the young men in Cleveland, Ohio are killing each other left. And I've never seen it so bad. And I know, you know, Terry, we lost my nephew, God rest, long live Mook, November 11th, 2020. And that was another loss. And that's like, we're close. So to gun violence. And I said, how is it that I'm an advocate for my people and I'm standing up and I'm speaking, and my nephew can't even walk in the neighborhood of men that look just like him and can't be safe? I'm scared for the police, and I got to be scared of somebody look like you. I agree with was it Public Enemy or whoever made that song? I never had to run from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Period. It's unity. I always speak. A house divided against itself. You wonder why racism is so strong and prevalent. You wonder why there's law enforcement going, because it's a house divided. It's a division. If all of us stand together, look at the vote. What did I tell you? I said, if we come out the vote, we will change the nation. If the people stand up, the table will fall. And that's my thing. We got to stick together. Not all this. When it's popular, we're going to be on it. That's why my thing is motive. I'm seeing all these celebrities coming out talking about civil rights. But where were you when some of us that's fighting for civil rights needed you? Now it's a popular subject and you want to be on TV. But what about the ones of us that have been down in the dirt? I'm almost to the point where I can't even live. You didn't reach out to us. So my question is, what's your motive? Because you already know I'm a rock with civil rights. For you to take my home, my car, my dignity almost, and I still stood in the fight. That's what you call the realist. I'm that girl. I'm that girl. I'm the girl you want in your corner. For real.
Reminds me of my grandmother. She's like, you got the right one.
You got the right one? Yes. Yes, you got the right one.
Well, Nakia, you know, this has been a wonderful conversation. I do want to dive into one piece too, because we do talk about this. You know, we deal with a lot of trauma. You know, sometimes personally, professionally, and so on and so on. But I've been saying this for years. I think we've become addicted to the trauma in a way. You know, I said this before. The brother that was kneeling on his neck, George Floyd. I still have not watched the video, and I refuse to watch the video. I know how it ends, and I just couldn't back then, and I can't, and I still can't now. But the flip side to that is the healing part, right? Is how do we heal? How do we learn? How can we heal? And I know for you, that was a journey too, is that healing process. Can you sort of walk us through that, Nakia? What was that journey like for you?
For me, the process was kind of hard because I never knew who Nakia was. I always wanted to be the hero, so I knew who Officer Nakia Jones was, but I didn't know who Nakia was. So Officer Nakia Jones, that was me. That was that made up who I was. So for it to have it stripped from me, I was lost. So people were saying, why can't you get over it? You lost your job, but that was me. That's like almost like when you watch Roots and he said, "What's your name?" Kuta Kinte. No, my name is Toby. I'm like, wait a minute. This is who I am. I'm supposed to be helping people. I'm supposed to protect and serve people. How I didn't even do anything wrong. This is me. So I couldn't let it go. Do y'all hear? Please hear me, y'all. This is so important for your mental health. Sometimes you gotta let it go. I didn't know how to let it go. I didn't understand it. And I didn't understand sometimes you can hold on to stuff so bad that it will destroy you. To the point to where Terry, and I know a few other people that have watched my journey. Several months ago, I was in a bad place. I was ready to commit suicide, and it was rough because I felt useless. I felt like I failed my family. I felt like everything that I worked hard for, I lost it in the twinkle of an eye. I felt unworthy. I felt broken into pieces. And thank God, and to this day, I love you, Carrie O'Horn. Something in me said, you need to talk to somebody that can feel that same pain that you're feeling right there. And I called her, and she never knew that I was at that spot, but God gave her the words to talk me off the ledge. And I'm grateful for that, because God always puts a ram in the bush. That's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna be totally transparent with you all. Right after that, right before that is right when I lost my nephew. I was in the bathroom, I'm crying, and I kept hearing God say, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. I told you, vengeance is mine. Leave Warrensville alone. You're trying to stay stuck somewhere where I removed you from. They didn't fire you. I removed you because I needed your voice to be for the people. You did enough in your community. I need something bigger. I have some bigger plans for you, but I can't move unless you allow me to move. That was one of the most hardest, most painful things I had to go through, was to look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm no longer a police officer. I'm no longer a cop. I'm no longer, that's not me anymore. That hurt because that made me who I was, and that's how I felt. Yeah. But little did I know is that everything was already inside of me. That badge and that gun never made me, I made it. So today I can stand and say, I'm no longer Officer Nakia Jones, but I'm Nakia Harris, and I stand strong in my truth, and I'm an activist, and I was an amazing police officer. That's something you can never take away. I made history. I was the first and only African-American female officer. I made change in the city of Warrensville Heights. If you pull and talk to the people, they'll tell you. I made change in the lives of those children, and I watched many of those juveniles graduate that were not going to graduate. I went into other neighborhoods. I didn't just stay in Warrensville. I went into Cleveland. I talked to the kids in the hood. I've always been that person. So I'm grateful that I was able to finally shed that off of me so that I could see who I am. I never thought I was beautiful. Never. Today I can say I'm kind of cute. I never thought that. I went from 215 pounds to 146 pounds. I didn't do anything, no exercise, nothing. What I did was I stopped carrying stuff that God didn't want me to carry. I was trying to save people and carry people, and all that weight was on me, and I was depressed. God said, I told you, lead them the way, but you're not supposed to carry them. And now I understand I had to pull back from me and look at myself in the mirror and say, you need to change. There's some things in you that God is working on inside of me. I'm not perfect. So I had to go through a rebirth, and I understood now the difference of really being reborn or just saying that I'm new. When you're really reborn, all things are new, baby. I ain't saying you might not go back a little bit. You might slip, but all things are new. You ain't even comfortable where you used to be. I ain't even comfortable. My thing is I'm elevating. I only want to be around things that's going to make me better. I want to move in my purpose. I want to move freely in my purpose. So when you saying I'm going through a rebirth, you'll know, because you should never look like the same way you looked when you went in. You're supposed to look different. Everybody can look that, even on the outside, you can see. My insides, you can see it. Mental health is real. It's real, y'all. Please, and us as African Americans, I don't know why we shun down on it. We don't want to talk to people. And my female officers, listen, this is for y'all, females, period, but especially my female officers. We carry a lot. We carry more than the male officers do, and you all know that. We don't only have to fight what's going on outside. We got to fight what goes on internally. You all, please make sure you get some, sit down and talk to somebody. Don't trade places with me, because if it would have been a second more, y'all would have been having this video about me sitting there talking. You would have been saying, I remember her. Mental health is real. Please, y'all, don't make you weak. It makes you strong when you can go sit down, because that doctor can help you see things that you couldn't see. So I'm grateful now. I can say I am no longer a police officer. I'm an activist. I'm a mother. I'm powerful. I'm strong. I'm a woman of God. I'm a queen. I'm beautiful. I'm tenacious. I'm unstoppable, and I'm ready to take on whatever God has for me. And I'm grateful. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that God is aligning me with the right people. And I'm telling y'all, please hear me. This time, you can have a rebirth at any time. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you look in the mirror, can't nobody stop you. I had to shake those things. I kept saying, well, they made me. Well, I'm like this. No. I'm in charge of my life. You're in charge of your life. It's time for a rebirth. There's some things that us as a people need to be doing. I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful.
You said it all. You said it all. And I think the stigma around mental health, it's so dangerous. I used to say to my students, the stigma of mental health is just as dangerous as the mental health itself.
It is.
And when you in the Black and brown communities where we sort of shun therapy or anything that is, again, healing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're addicted to the trauma, but we're not addicted to the healing yet. So it's so important that we have folks like yourself who can come on. And I did watch the video. I did watch it was a Voices of Vision episode, I believe, actually. Yes. And I was glued to that. And I remember watching that whole thing. And again, knowing that you called Carriel and that dark time and again having to support Jocelyn and all, but that whole dark period of time, knowing that you were able to come and share that story that was so powerful with the world, I just think, I think the world of you, Nakia, and I think is absolutely wonderful that you're able to share not just the trauma but the healing as well. As this person here put, God bless you indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a couple more shout outs real quick is one, Nakia, if you want to show the shirt again, the shirt is now on sale. The proceeds do go to Nakia, by the way, so I'll mention that too. Yeah, I'm going to post the code itself. It's again Chuck's Pearls. If you go to the site to order the T-shirt, Chuck's Pearls, and you will get a free shipping. And for those, I wish I had the version of the men's shirt, but the men's shirt is real men. It's up there too. Okay, good. Real men stand with that girl. So with that said, also if you're wanting to book Nakia, we can post Nakia's page again. So you feel free to book Nakia, bring her to your area community. She is a wonderful speaker. We just again just touched the surface of this. A lot of this was really to get some videos submitted. So to celebrate that the anniversary of the posting, as a rebirth of all that has taken place over the past 5 years, and also sort of just reflect on that journey. So with that said, I know Sean is going to scream after party, but before he screams after party, Nakia, is there any words you want to leave folks with today? And I'll put you on the spotlight.
He's putting me on the spotlight. I want to first address the women on here. I want to thank you all for your support. Women, you don't understand the power that we have, especially when we support one another and when it's genuine. Many of you have been praying for me when I couldn't pray for myself, and I'm grateful to you. Right now, this movement that's going on, they need us. I'm talking to all the women. They need us. They need that compassion. The people need hope, and it's nothing like a woman, because we bring the hope. We are nurturers. We birth life. What did they say? You bring a woman into a house, she make it a home. The same thing in these men. We can speak life into these men as well. We are powerful beyond measure. So right now, I just want to speak life into some of y'all. I know that some of you all are going through the same journey I went through. Like I said before, my storm didn't start yesterday. I've been going through this storm 5 years, and it got worse and worse. But I promise you, if you just hold on, get you a close circle of people around. It could be just one. My best friend carried me. Do you hear me? One woman carried, and I'm a strong woman. Get you somebody that's going to speak life into you. Let go of all that negativity in your life. Rebirth. Remember, Chucks and pearls, baby. We changing the world. I need y'all to come walk with me. To the men, I love you, kings. I don't know what y'all going through, but I still see greatness in so many of y'all. I need to speak life in the name of Jesus, that you will not die, you will live. Do you understand me? We need you. For women that say we don't, we need you. I'm not saying we need you to take care. We need you to stand strong beside us. We need you to have our backs, because it's nothing like having a strong man stand beside you and say, I ain't gonna talk the talk, I'm gonna walk the walk. Thank you, Sean Kennedy, because you're an excellent example of that. We gonna speak life today, that our sons will prosper, our sons will live, and that this thing with police, we gonna speak with, it's gonna stop. The foundation is shaking already. And for my juveniles, especially my black men, again, put the guns down, baby. The only way you can destroy a race of people is to destroy them from the inside out. That's the reason why some of these cases aren't being solved. They want us to kill one another. Come on, baby. This is your brother. He looks like you. You ain't got to like him. You ain't got to rock with him. But who are you to take a life? Never take something that you cannot give back. We love you. Do you hear me? You are not a nigga. You ain't all this stuff. You are a king, and maybe you just lost your way. And I pray right now that some mentor walks right into your life at the right time, so that that the greatness that's in you can be reborn. And to everybody supporting us, at period, everybody supporting us, I'm grateful for y'all. Let's be the change we want to see. Let's shake this racism. Let them see that, listen here, it ain't just about black. We all gonna stand together as a colorful chain together and say enough is enough, because the people have spoken. Again, Chucks and pearls. Come on, ladies, we rule the world.
That is fantastic. And by the way, I'm looking at my cell phone as well. Carrier Horn did just text me to tell you hi. She wished she could be here today, but she's busy today. But probably a little tired from all that traveling she just did.
Yeah,
and she's watching. She is watching. Yes.
Carrio's Law, hashtag, listen, wait a minute. Carrio's Law, any show I'm on, I want to make sure that we say that, because we need to start hitting that hard. If you want, you keep on asking, how do we make change? We've got to change the laws. All the marching, yes, I'm totally in agreement, but sometimes my knees hurt, y'all. We need to make some permanent changes, and that's where, Terry, you know, and I'm grateful for you, Terry. I love you too, Terry. You've been so supportive to me and Jocelyn, and we're grateful to you, brother. That's another king in the house. Let me go ahead and shout you out as well. We're gonna push this law. We're gonna push this law. I rocks with Carrio 100%. Carrio's Law, absolutely.
Yes, and those who don't know, Carrier's Law is still sitting in New York State. So if for those who are in New York, please get ahead and contact your Senate to say, hey, we want to enact Carrier's Law. I will put the link in the comment box so you can guys check it out. All the details is there for Carrier's Law. Please take a look at it and if you call it. Okay, Nakia, I think we lost you for a second. Where'd you go?
I'm still here. Give me 1 sec.
Okay, just the camera now. Great. All right. All right. So with that said, um, I'm going to uh, I'm going to allow for a intermission. So, folks, if you want to stay on for the after party, it's just a conversation between us folks. And with that said, I want everyone to have a good night, but stay on for the after party. We got more conversation happening. I'll see you guys in about 2 minutes. All right, so welcome back. Welcome back for the after party. All right, so this is a time where we sort of relax. I want folks who are still watching, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat box. We're going to invite Nakia back. Nakia has been here talking with us for the past 2 hours, so I appreciate it, of course. Uh, I've had my bottle of water here. I've actually finished the whole thing. So, but if you have any questions, please ask. And that also it goes for the folks backstage. If you have any questions backstage, put them in the private chat, and I'll definitely ask it. But so what's interesting, Nakia, is when we look at your journey, there has been some, like I mentioned before, there has been some I like some overlap between your story and Carrio's story. 5 children, retaliation, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm thinking about one question I always have for you is, um, as other female officers come on to the job and on what you went through, what piece of advice would you give them?
New female officers, I would honestly tell you to get you a female officer that you can trust, that can mentor you, that can school you on some of the things that you may see, and that can school you on some of the things that should not be happening and how to conduct yourself, and also letting you know that you're not alone. I wish I had a mentor in Warrensville. I had one when I was in East Cleveland. I had a few amazing females that were like on it. But when I left and went to Warrensville, it was like a different environment because I was the first. So I would definitely tell you, definitely get you a mentor. And it's even better if you can find you a male officer that really looks at you like a sister, because sometimes the males know some things that some of us females don't know. Being honest, I'm being totally real about it. But I would definitely tell you, get you a mentor. You have to have your mentor. You have to have your outlet. You have to have somebody you can trust, that you can talk to, and that can guide you through if you start having problems.
Yeah. Uh, Backstage question came in. What is your biggest take from your 5 year journey?
Honestly, I think my biggest take is I really realize how strong I am. I've heard people say, she's so strong. And I'm like, yeah, ha ha ha. But going through these 5 years and making it to my rebirth, I really realized how strong I am. And my strength was not in my roar, and all, my strength was in my humility. I was so humble. I was humble, and I can be totally honest. I wasn't arrogant. It was like God was humbling me for a time as this. And I feel like the more humble I was, the more powerful I knew I was, and I knew I could make it. So that is what I would take this 5 year journey. If somebody is going through a storm, what I would tell you, and it seems like it's getting worse, it's not ending, maybe God is trying to get you to humble yourself.
Mm. Another question, and I think your backstage people have some questions for you today.
Yeah.
uh, the book, I know that the book is currently not out for sale.
Right.
It's there's no back order, but do you have a timeline for the next book coming out? Is there a timeline that you're working on?
Yeah, we're trying to drop the next book either early 2022. So either December, January-ish, where that's what we're pushing for. And this book is going to be powerful. The ones I'm grateful again. I want to thank God, first of all. The book on Amazon, the old book, has almost 5 stars. And the editing wasn't all that good, but I'm grateful that the girl did edit my book. But if you read it, it's a powerful book. And this next one, because you're going to get to see the raw and uncut, because I was no longer an officer when I wrote this part.
Mm, yes. Now, I have a question, and it's funny because it's the same question that Sean had too. And I actually asked this question before. Voices of Vision. First of all, can you tell folks who are watching what is Voices of Vision? What is it about? I know I've been watching it. I love the setup that you have. Can you sort of describe it? And then part two of that question is, when is it coming back out? When is it being released again?
Okay, Voices of Vision. We will be back next month, you all. We're going to pace ourselves because many of us are doing a lot of different things. As you can see, one of my hosts, Rachel, she's back out in the sports arena. Congratulations, Rachel. And she's been doing a lot of interviews with a lot of football players. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to even be seeing if we can get some football players to come on the show just to kind of give a little spice. Of course, Professor Nichols, she's excited. She's ready. Jocelyn, of course, just graduated her only son. So that's been amazing. So we all had a lot in school. So I want to make sure that we keep it balanced. Voices of Vision actually was created because I kept saying the people are asleep. They sleeping. What way do you get, when I'm getting woken up in the morning, the thing that wakes me up is my voices. Hey, it's going to wake me up. So I said, maybe if our voices are powerful enough or compassionate enough or strong enough, maybe somebody will open their eyes and say, you know what, this is a problem. Let's some solutions here. So Voices of Vision was built upon 4 different women's perspectives. Some of us have different walks of life. You see, we have Heidi, which is Indian, and nobody would have known Heidi's Indian, but different walks of life, different professions, giving our opinions about different things. And it's able to open up a dialogue for all of you to engage us to make change.
Yes. So make sure if anything you follow Voices of Vision, I want to post a link to the page in our chat too, so we can get people following that as well.
Yeah.
Again, I've tuned. I think I must have at least watched 3 of your episodes from the beginning to the end live. I've watched some of the recordings, of course. I think one of the most powerful ones was the one that I mentioned earlier in the show, when you were talking about mental health. Just because it was not just about mental health, but it was also about the healing. With again, I think that's not talked about enough, is that healing process. So, um, Okay. Any other questions that I'm missing out here before we close the after party? I don't want to close the after party too
Right. So,
short.
right. And oh, let me just say one thing, you all. You'll know when you're truly healing when it becomes painful. Healing hurts. And Terry, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've been through some things in your life. Healing
Oh
hurts.
yeah.
It hurts. It gets down into the core of everything, and that is what I'm going through at this point. You know, I'm like, oh my God. And again, please follow us on our pages. Please follow the Real Officer Nakia Jones. You can follow Nakia Harris. Unfortunately, I forgot Nakia Harris. I can't even accept any more friend requests on there. Unfortunately. Sorry. I am on TikTok, but TikTok is for the folks that ain't judgmental. That's the other side of me.
Okay, I saw something. I'll tell you what. Look, here she is. Look at her, man. And she is flexing.
Yes, look, that's my alter ego over there. So when y'all go follow over there, that's my alter ego.
Well, I'll wait for the TikTok that shows I'm that girl. I think that's what we need, a TikTok for I'm that girl.
Yes, yes.
Now, for those who don't know, in the preparation for this presentation, we were discussing what will be a great title, and I'm that girl. I can't remember who idea it was. Someone was it Sean's?
Yes. I was like, I'm that girl. And at first we was like, and then Jocelyn said, wait a minute. We all was like, that part.
Yes.
Yes.
I just think that's a great that's just a great way to show what you're all about. Carrie wants to know what's your TikTok name.
What's my TikTok? Carry on, girl. I think it's New Kaka. Ooh, y'all, listen, I don't want y'all calling me talking about Miss Jones. I'm sorry, Miss Harris. Ooh, my goodness. Listen, I told y'all I'm having a rebirth. I'm really realizing that I'm beautiful, and I'm also realizing as a woman, the word being sexy is not a bad thing. When I was younger, I thought being sexy was like it wasn't, but it's not, honey. I'm embracing my sexiness right now. My TikTok name is Kai's.
Do you want to put it on the chat? Because I think that
yeah, you can put it on there.
Someone backstage posted it, so let me get ahead and put it on here so people can see it. Wait, here we go.
It's at Kaya's Nunu, so it's at KIAS Nunu. Sean, don't you be going on there looking at me talking about some, ooh, Nakia. That sounds like Sean done Nakia now.
That's a good. Oh man, that's a good man. That was a good impression right there.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh, and then listen, Jocelyn said, "Oh, I'm sorry for you, IG people. We do also have the Real Nakia Jones on Instagram. Please follow that as well." The reason why we're asking you all to follow these pages, and please make sure you follow Moses Speak and any other pages, and I usually will tag them on my pages. I only put pages of substance on my Officer Nakia Jones page because we need to stay well educated, you all. Knowledge is power. It just is. And we really need to start supporting those platforms that really stand for the right things for us. So
yes. Sean had a good question, and this question has actually come up a couple of times in a couple of meetings that I've been a part of, and that is, have you ever thought about doing like a support group for Black women? Because I do see Voices of Vision being a space where you can have an open, authentic conversation, but there is something about having that supportive space. Like, I used to call it like the barbecue. You invite someone to the barbecue, there are some things that set the barbecue that you don't say outside. But, have you ever thought about doing some type of support for Black women?
Oh, absolutely. We have a page actually called Healing for Women by a Woman. And it's just a woman's page, and it's a safe space where we talk about domestic violence. We talk about a lot of things. So I would ask any woman that's on here, and it's amazing. Every Friday, my spiritual mentor, who I love, she walks very heavy in the prophetic. I love Melody. Sister Melody, I love you. Because I know she's watching. She goes Friday at, I think, 7 o'clock. She does on the front porch. It's off the hook. So we do a support group for women. And I have thought about doing just a small group for Black female police officers. I have thought about that. I just need some help putting it together. Sean and Terry, somewhere we can meet at a safe space, because I bet you once we hear each other's stories, it's going to be interesting, like me and Carrio's story. Both of us getting fired while we were out on sick leave. It's just interesting. Like and I think it'll be powerful for us to share these stories, because then we will be able to give new female officers the ammunition they need to fight.
Yes, and it's interesting because, you know, Sean and I are part of this group, and we've looked at some of the active police officers that are sort of speaking out right now, and one in particular, shout out to Shanette Hall out of St. Louis. You know, she's holding down the fort, as I said, holding down the fort in this fight. But you know, that support is still needed. Like, it's definitely still needed, because it's a lot. Like, it's a lot to have to take on by yourself. So I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at okay. I need to switch gears here because I see that the red box is saying. All right, so.
Oh, what you over laughing?
You know, so you know, the private chat, folks backstage, they can chat with themselves, and I'm just, yes, you know who's backstage, so you know, if they let the chat amongst themselves, it could get pretty funny.
They are.
Oh, all right, so I'm looking at the other chat. Any other questions for Nakia or anything else before we disconnect the broadcast? We are still in the after party, so.
Yes. Hey, listen, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I am looking for angel investors. God said you have not because you asked not. For this next gospel play, I feel like right now, honestly, Terry, the people need hope. We've been through a rough 2020. I mean, it's with the thing of, isn't it interesting that, and this was something that a young lady who we're actually probably going to go through her to get the next book published. She said this was something deep. She said, isn't that interesting that George Floyd said, I can't breathe. And now all of us wearing masks saying we can't breathe. God has a funny way, doesn't he, of making us understand. You get where I'm going with this? It's really deep. So for me, I think that people need hope. The gospel plays that I've had 10 gospel plays that I've already written, been performed in Ohio, Cleveland, sold out. Now I'm in the Bible Belt. And I just feel like it's very important for the people to get hope. Hope is what we need right now. We need to be the voice of hope and the voice of solution. I'm with Sean. Me and Sean talked about, I said, I don't want to be the show that keeps showing this is going. I want to be the voice, the show that shows this is the solution.
Right. Can you talk about the shield of silence? Because that is something that we didn't touch at all.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that. The shield of silence. What's that about?
So the shield of silence was birthed out during my pain. And it's a police drama, and it's about a Black female police officer who has been promoted to captain. And what ends up happening is that a neighboring department needs a Black face because they're getting scrutinized because of the racism that is going on within the department. So what this department decides to do is it's political. So he calls that department and says, hey, I need a Black face for my department right now. And we particularly want a Black male. We don't really want to deal with a Black female. And as you go on through the episode, it shows the Black male tells the chief, I don't want that position. I had to fight hard to get where I am now. Now I'm the head honcho. I'm not going through that, going through a department where I can't trust. No, but of course the female, they made it look like to her like this was a big thing. And if she asked him, are you putting me over there for my face? And he's basically like, no, what is it? You don't think you can do the job? And of course, a woman gonna be like, yeah, I can, instead of thinking what comes with it. So now you got this black female officer that goes over to this racist department. And in her first week, she ends up with a shooting of an unarmed black male that's so deep. The climax is so deep because there's a connection between her and the black male that was shot. I'm gonna leave it there, but it's amazing and it's real. It's like almost like SVU. It's so real, and I wrote it, and I'm so excited. I'm ready. BT, what's up? You said you was looking at my show. I'm opening up the doors. Whoever want to get it, Netflix, you want it, come get it. Hulu, you want it, come get it. I was limiting myself at first, saying, well, we're going to just wait for BET, or with the gospel plays, I'm going to wait till I meet Tyler Perry. God says, stop limiting yourself. How do you know? I might want to get you some other kind of way. Stop closing. Whoever want to bless it, Lord, come on, bless it, because we ready.
All right, there you go. It's out there. It has been spoken. It has been spoken.
Eleanor!
So Eleanor is not backstage, but she is watching. She's been watching the whole time.
That's my girl. She raw and uncut. Woo! I'll take her to battle with me anytime.
Indeed. But with that said, Nakai, folks don't know, Nakai has been logged on now for 2 hours, and I appreciate every minute of it. There is one video I would like for maybe Jocelyn or Sean, if you can post this video in the chat, because I couldn't share because of the song Survivor. But if you could post that Survivor video in the chat as well, that would be great, so people can get a chance to see
Y'all
that.
funny, Terry. I've noticed after why I'm getting all these hits on TikTok. Listen, don't be following me with that judgmental stuff. Listen here, I'm getting my cuteness on that one. If you want to see
for the fun.
Oh yeah, Sean I'm waiting for Sean, because I know Sean. I'm like, Miss Nakia. Sean, I'm living my best life.
There was what I can't remember which video. I think when you first. So it's funny because I don't have a TikTok account. I just don't have one. I know Cario has one.
Yeah, Cario has one.
Cario has one. I don't know. I'm not sure if she manages herself or not, but I know she has one.
Yeah.
But it is a great way to get like short stories out there. So it's definitely caught on. So okay. Any thank you very much. Thank you, Josh, for posting. So it is in the chat box now. The Survivor. The only reason why I couldn't play because YouTube and Facebook will kick me off. So. But definitely, Nakai, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait. I know that we are working on having your first speaking gig in October. That's going to be powerful to see. This first of all, is you and Cario together. That's just going to be powerful.
Yes.
But then the other two with it, I really can't wait to see that come together.
Yes.
And again, let's put in the chat one more time. Two things. One, if you want to book Nakia, bring it to your town. And two, the T-shirts, they are open. If there's one for the ladies and there's one for the men. And I will post the where is the code again? The code, where did the code go?
Free shipping.
Free shipping code. And actually, I saw someone already use a free shipping code already, so I got the message that someone already used a code. So by all means, it's going to be good for till July 26th. If someone else want to order the shirt, make sure you share the code with them so they get the free shipping as well. I'm really so excited, Nakia, that we got to connect. Little backstory, Nakia, when you posted the video, I was one of those folks that's going to reach out to you, but it was with a blessing to Sean, because Sean was like, oh, you gotta talk to Nakia. And I was like, yeah, I know who Nakia is. Let's make it happen.
Yes. So. Listen, Sean is gonna be the one that, you can call Sean. He got all the connects. He know how to connect. It's amazing.
Yes. I'll tell you right now. Oh yeah, and by the way, for you big dudes, yes, we do have the big shirts as well. So they're the real men stand with that girl. I think it goes up to 5X. So for the big dudes out there,
Yeah.
feel free to
Sonya.
rock it. So by the way, those who want to know more about Nakia, where did it go? I just saw you posted. Where? Oh, there. No, that's not it. Well, there goes the shield of silence that we were just talking about.
For the trailer.
Um,
Yeah.
we get a trailer, but there. Where is your? Oh, there he goes. So those who want to know, that's the. Is this the? That's the Instagram.
Yeah.
So Nakia Jones Network. Thank you for the folks backstage that's been posting these throughout this
Yes.
conversation. Life is so much easier that way. Um,
Hey, Miss Cook. I need a t-shirt. Yes, I love you, Miss Cook. That was one of my mentors too. She worked in the that's another one, Terry, that you might want to interview. She's fire. She worked in corrections.
yes.
Yeah, make sure I got you.
Yes. Please
I got
do. People don't know I like to collect narratives. That's one of the things I love to collect narratives, and I think these stories particularly are very powerful.
yes.
I got you, Eleanor. I see you. I see you there.
I love her. I love you, Miss Eleanor.
Yeah,
Miss
she
Cook,
wants to.
what she say?
Ella, she wants to connect with you. I'll share.
Okay.
Uh, I do want to ask Eleanor if you're down for it. You can always I want write a story up on this one. Eleanor has been our writer for SFJ. If you don't know, by the way, she has been the one writing the stories of SFJ. And she and I think that this will be a great write up too, as well. So Eleanor, if you want to take this one on, let me know.
I
Um,
love Miss Eleanor. She
yeah,
is amazing. Miss Beverly, I love you. I love. She said yes. You know, I know you got to get your shirt. She's an AKA, so I already know she gonna rock the shirt. I already know that. I get it. And
yes.
listen, I got you, Miss Bev.
So definitely share if you're going to share the link to buy that shirt. Make sure you share the code as well,
Yes,
Chucks Pearls, so people can get free shipping. I think that I forgot what the shipping charge is. I think it takes like $5 off automatically. So,
that's good.
um, so these save some cash during this time. So besides that, I think we're done. Thank you for tuning the after party. Again,
He been trying to get my attention.
the whole time. Please do thank your two kids that submitted videos.
I will definitely do that.
I think again, as a person that's editing those, that they really got to me, especially your daughter,
Yeah,
um, and she's very adorable. But that sort of I don't know
yeah,
what it was. It just got to me. So please
yeah.
do thank your kids for submitting videos and really
Absolutely. And I thank you, Terry. Thank you for having me on this platform. Sean, thank you all for you all laid me out. I said, oh my God, I'm very grateful for both of you all. You already know you call, I'm there.
yes. And if funny part about it is I didn't even play all the videos that we did, but that's okay. I will post it on social media. I want actually, if you want to, Nakaya, we can post those videos on social media as well. I think
Yes.
that way people can see them separately from the actual show. I think it's very powerful. All of that.
Oh, Sonya said myself and my mom will rock those shirts. I love y'all. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so serious. I
Yeah,
can't wait. Oh, that's gonna
yeah,
be powerful, Terry.
yeah. I'm going to get myself a shirt myself. So, but I got to hook up this. I'm gonna get. I won't get the real men one. I know Sean, you're gonna probably get one with me. So, uh,
Yeah,
and
yes. And
I still think real men wear pink. So I just want to put that out there.
you gonna put yours on pink. You hear that? Terry said he getting his pink shirt. He ain't messing with nobody.
Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Nakaya, stay on, and the folks backstage stay on. I'm just going to disconnect the show,
All
and we
right.
can chat for a couple minutes. Everyone, have a great night. Again, remember the T-shirts. That's the code, and everyone, God bless.
God bless.